What's up, y'all? I'm back. Big ass fucking fight card coming into. You already know. Forever Sway. Long live my brother Sway. Let a day go by. I'm doing this shit with COVID right now. Crazy as hell. And I'm still gonna smoke Falcon. So yeah, I got COVID. Y'all hear me? I had to play this as the intro. That's the intro today. I ain't break down every fight because some of them I'm just not really confident in. But we got the first fight of the card, Chang Ho Lee versus Long Zhao. Then we're gonna do Brunson Ribeiro versus what's his name? Magomed Gadzi. Let's just say Magomed. Um, and then we got Renat Fakhretdinov, 22-1, top prospect. He's taking on Nicholas Dalby. Gonna break that one down. Then we have Felipe Lima versus Mohamed Naimov. After that, Nasrat Hapgrass versus Jared Gordon. After that, we got Johnny Walker and Volkan Ozdemir. Shara Magomedov versus Tricoli. Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. Come on now, that shit's crazy. Robert Whitaker and Ikram Aliskerov because Kamzat is a bitch. At first, I was kind of like, maybe you got some like real issues, but man, dude, you had food poisoning. Get the fuck on. Fuck you, dude. You just ruined that card. But you know what's funny? This card is in Saudi Arabia. And I know you know how Saudi Arabia, like Middle East, a little different than, the Western world. There ain't no women's fights on this card. I just think it's funny because they're in Saudi Arabia and they were probably like, hey, we don't want no women's fights. I don't care if it's fucking Amanda Nunez coming back. We don't want women's fights. So that's funny as fuck. But first fight of the night, man, let me just start off with Chang Ho Lee versus Long Zhao. Uh man, Long Zhao, 26-8. He's I think he's making his UFC debut. Yeah, he was on the Contender Series before, but he lost. He's been in one championship before, but he lost. He has been on this road to UFC lately, and he's won his fights. He has a split decision and a majority decision. So it's not like he's, knocking these guys out of the water. He's 26 years old with a uh 70-inch reach, and he's from Hunan, China. Uh, 5'8", and this fight is at bantamweight. His opponent, Chang Ho Lee, 9-1, 30 years old, 5'8", 69-inch reach. He's representing Seoul, South Korea. And honestly, I watched this guy's fights back. He's got 4 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, 3 wins by decision, and 1 loss by decision. He's won and own one championship, and he's on this road to UFC too. The difference between Chang Ho Lee and Long Zhao is Chang Ho Lee has got pressure for days. He's won by ground and pound the first round against Rana Singh, who was 11-1 at the time, and then his next opponent ground and pound the third round, with who was a 7-0 opponent. His last combined opponents are literally 19-1 versus Long Zhao's last couple of opponents who are they still got a good record. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's 32 and 10 basically. But I think Chang Ho Lee, the way he pressures his fighters, he's got the better wrestling. I think his counter striking is gonna be really good here. It's gonna play dividends. I think the best fucking bets for this fight are Chang Ho Lee if you're jumping on the money line, or just because of his great pressure. But best bets is Lee money line, or I do think it's going to be a close fight. They might give it to Zhao and just do the +3.5 at -225. Also, fight to go to distance at -230. I like all that shit for this fight. This is the first fight of the night. Um, and and Chang Holi's he's an exciting prospect. Even though he's older here, I do think he's the one who we're gonna see in the UFC down the road. And this fight is at bantamweight, a division that's super stacked right now. Mm, my bad, yo. Moving on. This is just like basically a honorable mention here. Um, and this fight, Magomed Gadzhi Yuzlov versus Brenson Ribeiro. This is why I don't fucking rock with joints, yo. It'd just be a waste of weeks and I fucking hate rolling joints. But yeah, this is just a freaking honorable mention. I think fight to start. What I have written down for this fight. Ribeiro's 27 years old, and I don't know. I just think this is gonna be that one fight on the card that does not go to distance. So we'll do fight to not start round 3 for that second fight, Ribeiro and Magomed. Next we got Renat Bakradinov, and Renat is one of my favorite prospects. Me and Sway watched this guy fight a whole lot. Like we seen him submit Kevin Lee, we seen him beat Brian Battle. I mean, he's been he's a dog. His last fight was a draw, a majority decision draw, where I think he was fucking up Zaleski Dos Santos for the first couple minutes, and then he just lost the third round. He like gassed himself out. He got tired real quick. But he's 32 years old. He's 3-0 in the UFC, 11-0 when it comes to TKO for him, 7-0 when it comes to submission. He's 3-2, 4-2 when it comes to decision, 3-0 in the UFC. Currently, he's ranked 16th best welterweight fighter. And the 22-2-1 record is crazy. I get some of his first opponents were basically cans. He was fighting guys that were 0-0, 0-2, 0-0, 0-1, 1-2, 0-0, 10-8. Some of their records aren't even available. But Nicholas Dalby, he's 23-4. He's 39 years old. He's 5'11", 74.5-inch reach. He's from Denmark. And this fight is at welterweight, guys. Nicholas Dalby was a big underdog coming in against Bonfim in his last fight. But he pulled it off. He is similar to Renat. He's got 7-0 TKO, 4-0 submission, but more of his fights go to decision. 12-4 when it comes to decision, but he's never been finished and he's 39 years old. And he's got some impressive wins on his resume. He's beaten Muslim Salikov. He beat Gabriel Bonfim, beat Warley Alves. I think Warley Alves fought Ikram Alaskarev, or they were supposed to fight. His only loss is to Tim Means, who's a good veteran. Um, but that loss to Tim Means is really what made me pick uh, what's his name, Renat, in this fight, because I do think Renat would be a Tim Means, but this Dalby is so tough. Renat really has to come in and just not play around here. He's on a 9 fight win streak, excluding that draw. He's been working on his grappling. He was in the ADXC tournament and got a win over Douglas Lima. He was in Karate Combat recently, just on April 20th, and he lost to Greg Jones. But those are really more like exhibitions, so they don't count. It's more for like fun and just to make some money outside of the UFC, the Karate Combat and the ADXC tournaments. So because he's been working on his grappling, I do think he can get a submission here, especially since he already submitted a guy like Kevin Lee. Um, but my best bets for this fight, it's gonna be Renat money line at minus 345, Renat sub or decision at minus 225, or Renat sub or TKO at plus 200. I can see him getting some crazy ground and pound in, and if you can't get the submission. I don't know. But like the fact that he's been in those grappling tournaments, that's really what like propelled me to pick him here. And like I don't know, the odds they're a little off here because Nicholas Dalby is tough as a motherfucker. It's a tough ass motherfucker. Yeah, that's gonna be the pick for this fight. Renat, he's young. He's 22-1. I know his opponent's 23-4, which isn't that much worse, but shit, he's 39 years old. Nicholas Dalby is. And Renat's still on the come up. He's 32. I think he's gonna get this done, guys. I'm feeling submission, but I would just do money line and pick it as a parlay piece for now because the odds just I'm not sure how he's gonna get it done. The best odds are the worst. What the sportsbook think is decision because they have it at minus 110 for the decision for Renat. But yeah, um, I think he finishes it inside the distance or he gets a submission or a decision really. Next fight, man, Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima, he's freaking 26 years old. He's 5'6". I think this fight is at featherweight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, featherweight. Felipe Lima, he's 26 years old. He's making his UFC debut this fight. 4-0 when it comes to TKO, 2-1 when it comes to submission, 6-0 when it comes to decision. He's already got a submission loss and he's fighting a guy named Muhammad. What else do you need to freaking know? Muhammad Naimov. He's 5-0 when it comes to TKO, 3-0 when it comes to submission, 3-2 when it comes to decision, 11-2 overall, 3-0 in the UFC. He's beating guys like Eric Silva, Nathaniel Wood, Jamie Malarkey. He had a 2 fight losing streak on the Contender Series and then on Titan FC, but since then he's turned it around with 6 wins in a row. I don't think Felipe Lima is ready for this at all. I think Naimov is honestly the fucking lock of the night. The odds are so fucking nice on him right now, still too. It's actually crazy. The odds on Naimov right now. He's actually the underdog at minus 105. I, I don't. I watched back Felipe Lima. and I don't believe he's ready for a guy like Muhammad Naimov, and he's taking this on short notice. I don't understand why he's the slight favorite. He's minus 115. I think Naimov single bet him all day here. Like, let me show you guys who Felipe has fought. Felipe is 12-1 in his own right. Um, he's got the one submission loss, and that's it. But 12-1 overall. He's on a 12 fight win streak. I mean, he hasn't beaten anybody, and all these wins are over guys that are 0 and 0, 0 and 2, 0 and 0, 0 and 0, 2 and 3, 5 and 4. Then he finally beats a 6 and 0 guy, an 8 and 1 guy. Then he goes back to beating an 8 and 7 guy. The competition wasn't there. Muhammad Naimov is on a fucking 6 fight win streak. He's 11 and 2. He's 29 years old. He stayed active. Um, Naimov should be the fucking biggest. I take him now before the odds jump is all I'm gonna say. I watched Felipe back. I don't think he's nearly on this guy on Muhammad's level. Moving on, we got our next fight: Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Flash Gordon. Nasrat is a nasty striker. He's got 10-1 when it comes to TKO, 0-1 when it comes to submission, 6-3 when it comes to decision. He's beaten Jamie Malarkey, Landon Quinones, John McDessie, Bobby Green. I mean, he's his only losses are to Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, and Drew Dober. Um, he's beaten Mark McDessie, who's a real great kickboxer, and his opponent, Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon is 20 and 6 overall. He is 35 years old. Nasrat Haqparast is a lot younger in this matchup. He's 28 years old, so 7 year youth advantage. Ah, man. Jared Gordon threw 7-4 TKO, 2-1 submission, 11-1 decision, 8-5 when it comes to the UFC. He's lost to Paddy Pimblett, Grant Dawson, Charles Oliveira, Joaquim Silva, Diego Ferreira. Like he's lost to a lot of good competition. My best bets for this fight, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna go too deep into the breakdowns here, but he is a fucking plus 195 favorite. And since Sway's passing, I feel like that plus 195 because Dustin Poirier, Sway was so big on Dustin Poirier. And I'll never forget his odds were plus 190. Anything around there, like that plus 190 or plus 195, has been nothing but gold for me since then. But Nasrat is a nasty striker. I do see Jared Gordon pulling it off. I just fucking hate Jared Gordon personally. Um, I think the official pick for this fight is gonna be alternate method Nasrat TKO or Jared Gordon to win by decision minus 125 or plus 3.5 Jared Gordon. Whichever one you're really more confident in. Moving on, guys, man. Johnny Walker. This guy's a fucking physical specimen. 32 years old, 6'6", 83-inch reach, 16-5 when it comes to TKO, 3-1 when it comes to submission, 2-2 when it comes to decision. I mean, guys, 3-3 in his last 6 fights, but he did lose to Thiago Santos, Jamal Hill, and Magomed Ankalaev. He's beaten Ian Cutelaba, Paul Craig, Anthony Smith, Ryan Spann, Kilo Roundtree. He's taking on Volkan Ozdemir this fight. He's 34 years old, 6'2", 75-inch reach. I'm not even looking at Volkan's who he's fought. He is a tough ass guy. He's a good boxer himself. He's a good wrestler himself. But he's 7-6 in the UFC. It's not like Johnny Walker is much better at 7-5, but he's 12-2 when it comes to TKO, 2-2 when it comes to submission, 5-3 when it comes to decision. Guys, I like Johnny Walker here just because of the fucking reach. 7 inches is a lot of fucking reach to play around with. And Johnny Walker has some long ass legs too. I ain't gonna cap. I think he finds the knockout here. And I think that number is plus 190. Let me see. Oh no, it's a 215. So I think Johnny Walker minus 115 money line and Walker by TKO plus 215 is gonna be the move here. Next fight, Shara Magomedov versus Tricoli. I think Shara TKO minus 190. Tricoli's taking this on short notice. And fights not start round three, minus 200. Those are the best picks for that fight. Shara's a dog, but he's got to work. I mean, let's see if that takedown defense is really improved. Um, Kelvin Gastelum's coming back, guys. He's 18-9. He doesn't know how to keep. He looks like me, really. His ass bad as hell, bogus as hell. He really should be fighting at 155. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he just can't make the weight or some shit. I don't know. But he's 18-9 overall, 5-0 when it comes to TKOs, 5-3 when it comes to submission, 7-6 when it comes to decision. 2-3 is last five, and 2-6 is last eight. I know I'm cherry picking there, but you know, he's a minus 200 favorite, and he's 2-6 his last eight. Make that make sense. Daniel Rodriguez, it looks like he's been on his way out of the UFC though too. This fight might end up like a really boring fight. I don't know. Like I feel like it might be a raw ass fight too. If Kelvin Gastelum doesn't get his wrestling going and Daniel Rodriguez can keep it on the feet, I think the best play on this fight is Daniel Rodriguez plus 3.5. I just think Kelvin Gastelum probably will. Is a little more of a smarter fighter where he will be able to strike with Rodriguez, even though he's Rodriguez is a really good boxer, but I think he will be able to strike with him, and I think like he'll get that takedown the last minute of the round, and that'll be it, and that'll seal the deal for the round. But I think it's gonna be a close fight. It might be a dead fight too, though, at the same time with these guys. But Daniel Rodriguez is 37, so he is a lot older. But Kelvin Gastelum's fucking fought so much. I don't know. He's been in the UFC for so long. It feels like he's the older guy here. Uh, this fight, the one I'm like super excited for, Sergey Pavlovich, minus 240. Minus 240. He's 18-2, 32 years old, 6'3", 84-inch reach, 15-2 TKO, no submission losses, no submission wins. He say fuck the jiu-jitsu. He's 3-0 when it comes to decisions though. 6-2 in the UFC. He's taking on Alexander Volkov. 37-10 overall, y'all. 37-10 overall. And I mean, Alexander Volkov 24-2 when it comes to TKO. So what do you have to say about that? Y'all, I think that was true. I mean, he has been around for way more, and I thought he just would have been knocked out a lot more low key at this point, but he really hasn't. So he's 4-3 when it comes to submission, 9-5 when it comes to decision, 11-4 in the UFC, 4-1 his last five. I'm still taking Dan Pavlovich. Whenever he finds that right hand, you just go to sleep. He's like Ngannou, except the white version. Ah, tough fight. I don't know. I feel like Volkov's movement, it's not similar to Aspinall's, where it'll keep him alive for a little bit. But yeah, Pavlovich finds you with that right hand. You're going to bed. But I don't know. We'll see if he has a chin. We don't really know if he has a chin. And then the main event, guys, Robert Whitaker versus fucking Ikram Alaskara, our boy, pulled out last second. Um, Kamzat Chimaev. If it was Kamzat, I would have been all over him. But he got food poisoning. Whitaker, Bobby Knuckles, 33 years old. He's been around for so long too. He's 6-0, 74-inch reach. Just beat Paulo Costa. Got his ass beat by Dricus Duplessis. Marvin Vittori had got a win over Marvin Vittori. Lost to Izzy in a really close fight. I remember watching back that fight though and being like, I feel like to beat the champ, you gotta beat the champ. But I think that since then, that shit has changed so much, it don't even matter. So he could still be champion right now, arguably. But shit, not really. But Ikram is nasty, but he gets hit a lot, guy. He just has a good chin. It's not like this guy's a power puncher or Whitaker's a power puncher, but Ikram's 6-1 when it comes to TKO, 5-0 when it comes to submission, 3-0 when it comes to decision. He's beaten Phil Cause, Warley Alves. He hasn't really beat anybody. He lost to Khamzat Chimaev. Um, Nasty ass uppercut, knocked his ass out cold. He beat Dennis Tulum. Fun fact. But yeah, other than that, there ain't really shit too. We're gonna find out in this fight about Ikram. I think the safe bet is Whitaker, but who knows? You know, the Saudis could have paid fucking Whitaker like $10 million just to lose this fight. Hey, I'm saying how it is, you know. But that's the breakdown. UFC Saudi. I'll run through it one more time real quick. Um, Basically the picks are Chang Holy, uh, in the first fight. Lee money line, I think, is one of the best bets for that. Or plus 3.5 for Long Zhao. And fight to go to distance minus 230. Um, for Magomed and Ribeiro, fun honorable mention fight to start round two. Yes, plus 125 odds. That's the second fight of the card. Renat to win, but money line minus 345. Renat sub or decision minus 225. Renat sub or TKO plus 200. Um, Next fight, Naimov versus Lima. Naimov money line at minus 105 or plus 3.5, minus 175. Next fight, Nasrat Hapgrass or versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon plus 3.5 or Nasrat TKO or Gordon decision alternate method at minus 125. Next fight, Walker versus Volkan. Um, my best bet is Walker money line or Walker by TKO plus 215. The reach advantage should really help Walker here. Shara Magomedov versus Tricoli. Shara TKO minus 190. Fight to start round three, no, minus 200. And then uh, Gaslam versus Rodriguez. Plus 3.5 Rodriguez. Fuck it. That's what we'll do. Pavlovich versus Volkov. Gotta do Pavlovich TKO or money line. So anyway, I see it. I think he's gonna get the TKO. If he's gonna win, he's gonna get the TKO. If Volkov wins, he's gonna make him dance around. It's whichever side you're on that one. It's a tough one. I don't know. My gut's been on Volkov, but I'm still going with Pavlovich because of that right hand. He got too much power. Um, and then I got Whitaker. He's been through too much experience. I don't know. I think we're gonna find out in this fight, though. If Ikram wins, I won't be mad if I took Whitaker. we'll find out this fight because he hasn't really fought anybody till right now. And I look back at his fight. He's a great striker. Let's see if Whitaker can take a punch. All right, guys. Long this way. Peace out. I'm gonna be more consistent. I'm gonna get, I keep saying it, but I promise I will. Love y'all. Peace. Long this way.